in issue
touching the matter in issue
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Francesca Oteng Mensah.
Yes,
Did
Mr.
your name not change after you invited us to the wedding?
Mr. Chairman, I'm here to make the changes.
Very well. So
Thank you.
we'll go with this one. On behalf of the committee, I congratulate you on your nomination as a Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Gender and Social Protection.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You are a Member of Parliament, but this is the first time you are appearing before us as a Deputy Minister nominee. So we will ask you to give us a brief resume of yourself, and then members will ask you questions relating to your membership of Parliament, committees you have worked on, and why you think we should recommend you to the House for your confirmation as a Deputy Minister. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Francisca Oteng Mensah. I'm born on 14 February 1993. I'm from Mamponten in the Ashanti region. I'm married. I'm a Ghanaian and a Christian. I fellowship with the Assemblies of God, Ghana. I speak English and Twi fluently. I went to quite a number of schools growing up. I went to Revival International School, Supreme Savior International School. Then I completed my basic education at Angel Educational Complex and went further to St. Rose's Senior High School in Akwatia, where I completed my WASI, or Senior High School Education. Then I went further to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where I did LLB. Between 2014 2015, I contested for the parliamentary seat in Kwabri East, which I won my primaries whilst I was in school. I subsequently won the general elections in 2016, so I became a member of parliament in 2017, and also contested again for the 2020 elections. I have no children yet. Yes. 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 And then I've served on the National Youth Authority Board as the chairperson. I also serve on the Angel Group of Companies Board as well. I'm a board member. Then Achuma Rural Bank and as a member, and then Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority also as a member. I did my national service with the Angel Group of Companies. Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've had quite a few awards. One was in 2015 as the Student Personality of the Year. And then in 2017, I got an award from Ghana Peace Awards. And then Glace Africa also gave me an award as a trailblazer in 2017. And then BM Ultimate Women's Awards in 2018 gave me an Ultimate Woman Laureate Award, and then Young Professional Role Model Award in Politics by the YPYC. And then in 2021, Mr. Chairman, it's 2021. I want to make some corrections there. From Nigeria, I got an African Inspiring Lawmaker of the Year award. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Colleagues, here is your nominee. Yes, Honorable Obama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, congratulations, our dear colleague.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I can see the affable Mampontehene, Nana Biafo, and I recall his press conferences on the roads around Kwabre and Mamponting area. And I know it's been an issue on your heart. You and I have been discussing that. Before we go on gender issues, what is the state of affairs on those roads?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think Kwabre East is one constituency that has a lot of bad road network for some time now. Honestly, I would have wished that wasn't the turn of events from that angle, but then I must say it gave some positive feedback. As I'm speaking to you now, there is a contractor on site, which is China Runway, currently, who is going to work on the Mamponting town roads, work on the Abuaso toll booth to Wadieju Makasi through to Bosori. The same contractor will also be working on the Abuaso Jamai Pension School road and other roads which have also received very positive feedback. We also have another contractor, which is Napo Constructions, which is currently working on the Kenya Sitan roads as I'm speaking to you. The same contractor will be working on the Medoma 80 road, and as well as the Nhra Yam Market road. So I must say, with the current turn of events, it's very positive, and I'm sure the good people of Kwabre is going to appreciate it when the need arises. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The MP is full of smiles, so I believe everything is on course, because she always wore a very serious face. Anyway, Francisca, Honorable, lots of people are moving towards that direction in Ashanti region. People from Kumasi are all moving towards there because of availability of land. People are able to build the homes that they would love to live in. That has brought up a lot of pressure on parents and their children with regards to how to monitor and look after them. Playing around, betting, sports betting, and what have you. What are some of the strategies that, as Deputy Minister, you recommend to your minister should we approve of your nomination in that area of betting and loitering around communities? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think the issue of betting is of huge concern to me as an individual, because I quite remember when I was doing my campaign and I entered one of the betting shops. It was very surprising that a lot of people that I met there were young people. And I think it is important that we take a look at that. So when given the nod, I will assist or I'll collaborate with my minister for us to have proper stakeholder engagement, and also do a lot of advocacy on some of the implications of betting, because betting is very addictive. And sometimes when you believe or you have the tendency to win, you are forced to go further and keep doing it. And so when given the opportunity, I will assist with my sector minister for us to do a lot of collaboration and advocacy in this area.
Mr. Chairman, I've gone through our colleague's CV, and she loves swimming. Somebody from Kwabre, Ashanti region, Yeah, it's true. And you love swimming. Thank you. Chairman, I have nothing useful to add, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable.
Honorable Francesca Oteng Mensah. Is the Mensah the name of your spouse?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Or is part of your name?
My father is actually called Kwaku Mensah. I don't know if I should go into that. My father growing up, he didn't really have good relationship with the father, or he didn't know the father. So growing up, he later find out who the father was. He was called Kwaku Oteng. So subsequently, so let me say I was named after about 3 people. So the Francisca, Francisca is my daddy's best friend, who is a pastor. He's called Francis. And then the Oteng is my father's biological father's name. And then the Kwaku Mensah is my father's name. So I have 3 people. I'm carrying 3 people's name.
Ah, I see. Honorable nominee, you have been nominated to serve as a deputy minister of state. Now, what that means is that you'll be working up to the substantive minister. The Ministry for Gender is one that is tasked to deal with certain vexed issues which have to do with women, the vulnerable, and children. Now, should your ideas clash with that of the substantive minister, what should we be expecting from you?
What the Constitution states, I'm to assist the minister. And so most of my activities will be based on the instructions from the sector minister in order to help her perform her mandate as a sector minister.
And so where your own ideas appear to be at variance with that of the minister, how would you navigate around that issue?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's an advice that I can give to the minister or lobby. As members of parliament, we are responsible when it comes to lobbying, even for projects within our constituency. And so my few years in parliament has taught me some few skills on lobbying. And so I will make use of that. Thank you.
Well, earlier in the day, I asked the minister nominee for the same ministry that you'll be heading to if you get the nod. I asked her a question about Kayaye, the girls who migrate from the northern part of the country, and the porters, head porters. What strategies do you have to assist the sector minister deal with the problem? Because I'm very passionate about the Kayaye, or as my brother here, Patrick Boama, has said, Paupa. What strategies do you have to deal with that problem so that the girls travel from the north, they come to Kumasi, Accra, they become very vulnerable, some of them are abused, they do prostitution at night and so on. How do you intend to help these poor girls if you get the nod to serve as a deputy minister for that ministry?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, on the issue of Kayaye, or when you come to Ashanti region, we call it Paupa. I believe it's a very very demeaning job for any young person to do. It's very sad when you see as young as 10 years, 12 years children involving in some of these activities. I think when it comes to the long-term plan, will be to have a lot of collaborations with the various ministries, most especially the Ministry of Trade and Industry, so that they can focus more on the 1D, 1F program, where we can have a lot of factories within those constituencies in the regions to stop this internal migration that is going on. The other thing will be those who are who have already moved to the southern part. I think as a ministry, when given the nod, I will assist my minister for us to have pick their data, or let me say do proper research, get to understand their problem, because as the chairperson for the Committee on Gender and Children, we've had some discussions. There are some activities that have gone on, and in spite of the training and everything, they still go and they come back. So I think it is important for us to understand what is actually the problem, especially the individual problems, and see how best we can assist them acquire a skill, and also support them with the various government interventions we have as a country. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, my last question. Honorable Francesca, I'm looking at your date of birth, 14 February 1993. 1993, right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. What this means is that when you entered Parliament, I think you were about the youngest. At the time you entered Parliament. I don't know whether you still remain as the youngest, member of Parliament. Can you,
Thank you,
share with me what motivated you to venture into the difficult world of politics? And what lessons do you want to share with the youth who aspire to venture into the uncertain world of politics?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. You're right. I entered Parliament at the age of 23. I'm currently 29, so next year I'm leaving the 20 zones to 30. Currently, per Parliament's records, I'm still the youngest in Parliament. Growing up, I've always had the ambition of being a member of Parliament, and looking at my active participation in local politics within my constituency, it's motivated me to do more so that I can inspire more young people, most especially young girls, to also attain greater heights. One advice that I'll give to young people growing up is, age is not a barrier. Anything that you want to achieve in life, you don't have to wait. You have to start now. And with time, all your efforts will definitely come to fruition. Thank you.
You? Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable, I congratulate you, Honorable Francisca Oteng Mensah, on your nomination as Deputy Minister for Gender. Now, just following up from what my colleague just asked you before now. So, you'll be one of the youngest ministers or deputy ministers under the Fourth Republic. Should the committee recommend your approval? Now, President Kufuor, I believe in 1969, was also appointed deputy minister at the age of 29, and he is raising all the way until he became president. Do you have any presidential ambition in future?
I think there is nothing wrong with that if I have a presidential ambition. I would definitely love to aspire to be one so that I can also inspire more young people. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, at 23, you were declared Member of Parliament elect for the good people of Kwabre East. Then you won again at 27. Because when I checked the list, you were the youngest, and Honorable B.T. Baba was the oldest, when we entered Parliament. Just for the records. Now, as far as I'm concerned, and also being a Member of Parliament, the hustles and bustles of, election, for me, already gives me, every indication that we don't need to even vet you. All right? Going through that system alone at that age is enough qualification. And at this age. So for me, Mr. Chairman, I think we have to have some kind of convention. When some of these people come with such accomplishment, they should just bow, mention their names, and go. So, as far as I'm concerned, you should just bow and then, go, and then we'll approve you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I don't have much to say again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to you, honorable nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I don't usually do this, but I must admit that I have never had an interaction with Francisca, but she comes across to me as a very calm, focused, and, admirable person in the way she conducts herself as a Member of Parliament. And I will want her to keep it up as she continues to inspire a lot of young people, not just ladies, but young people in general. And I wish you the very best of luck as you take office as Deputy Minister. That notwithstanding, I have just two questions for you. It is my belief that those questions will help you once again to prove yourself and to inspire more who look up to you as, an achiever at this age. You graduated in 2017 from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and that same year you were elected as Member of Parliament for Kwabre East. Have you done your national service?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have. I've done my national service.
Okay, so you were doing it even as you served as Member of Parliament?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
That's interesting. Is being a Member of Parliament not national service enough?
Mr. Chairman, I wasn't exempted from it, so I still had to do it.
Well, now you also, and that's my last question, was appointed to the National Youth Authority as board chair. The Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I'm aware that there is an investigation that is being carried out by Shraj in relation to the Youth Authority's campaign to educate people about COVID when COVID hit, and budget approval of about 3 million Ghana cedis to educate people on the use of, on how to protect themselves from COVID generally. The allegation is that as board chair, you engage in conflict of interest because Adonko Bites was a beneficiary of a portion of this 3 million, and you were the board chair that approved, that award. What do you have to say to that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Per the practice, as the chairperson, you are not a member of the entity tender committee. And so I wasn't on the committee. Secondly, I had no idea they were purchasing from Adonko Company Limited at that time. it got to a time when the peak of the COVID-19 season. In fact, if we all recall, getting access to sanitizers were a huge challenge. And so at that point in time, everybody, including even members of parliament, were struggling, to go anywhere that they could get sanitizers that they can give to their people. And so at that point in time, in that state of emergency, nothing of that sort came to me. And so I find it difficult to accept that there is any conflict of interest. It was afterwards that I got to know that they even purchased some number of sanitizers from Adunko Company Limited. And they didn't just purchase from Adunko Company Limited. Per my checks, they also purchased from other companies like Gayhawk and the rest. So on the issue of conflict of interest, I'm sure Shraj is a competent body, and with their investigations, they'll be able to come up and then definitely exonerate me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, once again, I just want to wrap up so you can, I'm done. I'm just going to wish her well. Then you can, is that fine? I don't want you to wish her well. Okay, so please, leader. Yeah, so Mr. Chairman, like I said, I just hope her experience with this will guide her future interactions as she goes into the ministry. I wish you well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, to announce that I've come to support you and to vet the nominee, I want to take it from the hills of Honorable Soyene. Are you suggesting to this committee that you are before Shraj on a matter which has been investigated on conflict of interest bordering on you? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Shraj wrote to me and I have responded accordingly.
They wrote to you on what? You want to share the content of the letter, if you have it?
Yes, I can share a copy of the letter that Shraj wrote to me.
But at least you read the letter. What did the letter allege or purport on the matter they are investigating? Is it just Adonko, and what Honorable Sohine have said?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, what the letter entails, it had to do with conflict of interest issue where a citizen wrote to Shraj with regards to National Youth Authority purchasing some number of hand sanitizers from Adonko Company Limited. And the other allegation had to do with the fact that they purchased sanitizers worth 3 million Ghana cedis, and which is not so. So I've responded accordingly to Shraj on that.
I will be happy to see the official correspondence from Shraj on this matter to guide our decision on the nominee. Now you are reminded that Article 284 of the 1992 Constitution provides a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflicts or is likely to conflict with the performance of the functions of his office. What portfolio were you occupying? I know the Honorable Sohene raised, but I want to hear from you. What were you at National Youth Authority?
As a board chairperson.
Chair of the board, responsible for policy, is that right?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
Did the board approve that sanitizers will be bought?
No. No, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
The board approved an amount of 3 million Ghana cedis for COVID-19 campaign and related activities.
Which included procurement of sanitizers, is that right?
Well, that was...
Were you in that board meeting?
Come again,
Chair.
Mr. Chairman.
Were you in the board meeting?
Yes, please.
You chaired the board meeting?
Yes, please.
Which approved the 3 million?
Yes, please.
For the purchases of those items?
For the COVID-19 campaign and related activities.
Okay, so what are they? What have you got to do with Adonko? To pronounce it well for me. The Adonko group. What's your relationship with them?
I think it has to do with the fact that my father owns Adonko Company Limited, and I'm also a shareholder of the company.
Okay, for the record. Okay, that's fine. So, Chairman, I didn't have the opportunity when you started, but for purpose of record, Chairman, Nana Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. Chairman, I refer you to Constitutional Article 78. If it was already raised, Chairman, you have to forgive me. If it was not, I just want to, is it even, okay. Chairman, for the record, Article 79, it reads, the President may, in consultation with a Minister of State and with the prior approval of Parliament, appoint one or more deputy ministers to assist the minister in the performance of his functions. Now, you are deputy minister designate, is that right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So who is your minister who was consulted for you to be appointed to the office of deputy minister by President Nana Addo Dankwa, who must be seen respecting the letter and spirit of Article 79 of this Constitution?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it will be difficult for me to know who was consulted, but then I suspect the caretaker minister and the deputy minister were consulted. I suspect so.
Chairman, so this for our record, will raise a constitutional objection. The president has a duty as the oath he swore. He said that he swears to uphold the 1992 Constitution. Are you Deputy Minister for Water and Sanitation? That is what we know officially is the portfolio of the Honorable Cecilia Abena-Dapa. Now, if you are saying she was consulted as caretaker minister, what if I also assume that the Honorable Ajua Safo was consulted?
Mr.
And
Chairman,
probably she said no, so...
I stated I suspect. So it will be difficult for me to know, but then I'm sure the consultation was made.
Chairman, you have always been a student and an actor of law, so this constitutional jurisprudence, I will seek to look for my own, I see Tampule, I will seek to interpret the Minister of State there to mean the minister occupying the portfolio of Minister for Gender and Children, for my purposes. It may. So even the appointment is still May. Because the Constitution says the President may, in consultation with the Minister of State. So even the appointment. But Chairman, just to take note that this committee of appointment will also have a duty to hold the President accountable to the Constitution and to the letter and spirit of the Constitution. That is not your doing. We are just reminding the President that if he wants to appoint a deputy minister, best practice, governance, our assumption is that he would have waited for the Honorable Larba to go into office. Then the President can consult Honorable Larba, your Minister for Gender, that because you see, Mr. Chairman Speaker, it's about chemistry. I'm sure the President does this consultation. The President does this consultation. Honorable Tampule, Chairman, is in charge here. To allow for chemistry. There are some of you, Deputy Minister, your ministers are not even minding you. They don't give you any work. We know. This is how to avoid it. That the President consults the minister. For our purposes, there is no gender minister. We know a certain faraway minister somewhere, Mr. Chairman. So we are taking notice of it. But Chairman, let me go to just 2 or 3 questions. Unless our colleagues want to ask questions, then I'll yield. Or we should be warm her up. Chairman, now on matters of gender, when you go to Rwanda, Kigali, and the East African countries, they are very proud of their record of gender representation. They are about 40%. One of the presidents who have done well in terms of gender was J.A. Mills, subsequently approved by President Mahama. I should also acknowledge President Kufuor, even women occupying key offices, including Chief Justice of the Republic. What will you do differently to promote women participation in national public life? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I believe when it comes to women participation in politics, it's of great concern to everyone, not just women. Even we have a lot of men who have also shown commitment and support to this cause. I believe it has gotten to a time where the affirmative action bill is brought to Parliament. And so when given the nod, I will assist my minister in working towards...
Which of the ministers? The one yet to be consulted before your appointment or the one consulted after your appointment? Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Chairman, I believe the committee will give both of us a positive response, hopefully. So,
Chairman, thank you. Have you declared your assets?
yes, Mr.
When?
Chairman. Last year, yes.
You did last year.
Yes, yeah.
Do you have a view that Ghana's asset declaration regime doesn't serve this country well? People just acquire wealth. The wealth is never explained, not commensurate to their earnings or their income. My position is that we should change the evidential burden in those matters to shift to those persons who have acquired those properties in order to allow what pertains in the United Kingdom. Do you share that view?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
We should criminalize illegal wealth. Chairman, I now take the nominee to Article 94. So you are a colleague, you are a member of Parliament, is that right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You don't owe allegiance to any country, is that right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So if we find out that you have American citizenship or dual citizenship, we should hold you accountable to this provision of the Constitution. Is that right, Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I've paid all your taxes.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And there's no commission of inquiry that has indicted you on any matter of moral turpitude. Is that right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, I see some solidarity as they are announcing on some caucus. But now, gender, social protection. Have you, when you become minister, Medina, they have a very big social welfare facility. Have your attention been drawn to it?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Do you know
Mr.
the
Chairman,
state? Do you know the state of it?
Yes. During our committee engagement with the ministry, we've had some information with regards to the state of the place.
Are you aware that all the social welfare sites in the country are in very deplorable state?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Will you buy into a suggestion that one of the worthy things which was introduced by President Kufuor, LIP, what you people distribute money, should become and expanded as an informal insurance system for persons in that category? Do you share the thinking that we should expand LIP into a kind of informal insurance to support persons affected by it? Do you share the view? Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I think it's something that we should look at as a country.
Chairman, this one you can decide to rule me out of order or within order. Is it true that persons who want to fight for your seat in the constituency, your father shoulders them off?
Please don't answer that question. Don't answer that question. If your
Okay,
father
with all respect to Nana, I just said this for the joy, the humor of it. That I'm just saying that you are protected. Is it true? Or overly protected? Chairman, I'll leave it here, maybe for our colleagues to have a bite. Thank you.
The Women Caucus, I'll leave it to you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable colleague, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
It's nice to see young ladies being given such responsibility. Remember that a lot of people will look up to you. They already do, But now you are even in the limelight more, because now you go beyond Kwabre East, and you are nationwide. Kwabre, sorry. And so you are more nationwide in your outlook and your scope, so remember that. Now your minister is of a different generation than you. You are the millennial, the millennial generation. How are you going to work together and cooperate and make suggestions that would make her appreciate the challenges of millennials and the other generations that come after millennials? Because I think the distinction is clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I believe with my, the minister designates age difference and mine will actually give us a very good synergy. Looking at the fact that she is like a mother to me. We've worked together as the chairperson for the Committee on Gender, and I know she's a very accommodating person, and she listens a lot. And so looking at my age and the fact that I also have a lot of young people who are also looking up to me, with her experience and with the little experience that I have, working together will be quite easier. Yes.
That's fine. What is your view on, and what will you do to suggest to your minister on improvements in management, operations, and support for orphanages?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe running of an orphanage is of so much challenge, especially as a country. Currently, government has 3 orphanages across the country. Almost all other orphanages are run by private individuals. And so, first of all, I would like to commend all individuals, NGOs, who have put it upon themselves to take care of children in this category. I believe it is important that we also take a look at the foster care system, so that instead of the child being in a residential home, the child is rather nurtured in the family care system. And so I think it's something that when given the nod, I will collaborate with my minister in working towards something of this sort, and also supporting those who are already doing these orphanages as the ministry has been doing.
All right, and the last question. What were your achievements as the board chairman of the National Youth Authority between 2018 and 2021?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. It was during my tenure that we started the 10 youth resource centers across the country. So currently, National Youth Authority is undertaking various youth resource centers that has very good facilities, ICT center, Titan tracks, very good football pitch, volleyball pitch, and the rest, so that young people who are good in the sports can also have places where they can go for recreational activities, or they can enhance their talent. During my tenure, we also did an online registration or online training for young entrepreneurs. So we call it online marketing for young entrepreneurs, on how they can market some of their products online, especially those who do not have a place where they do their business and rather would want to use the social media platform to market some of their activities. We also started something on youth parliament. We have a lot of young people who aspire to be like us, and it is important that most of us didn't get that opportunity growing up. And so as a board, we took it upon ourselves that we'll have a program where we train young people who aspire to be leaders on how to even speak in public, how to even lobby your MP or your assemblyman, your DC, and so that they can tackle some of your issues within the community. And then we also started with youth registration program. we have a lot of young groups in Ghana, but unfortunately we didn't have the data on them. So as a board, we also took it upon ourselves that we'll create a platform where young people can register their organization so that any activity that the National Youth Authority is taking, we can involve them, and then they can also have direct beneficiary of some of these things. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, so I hope that you would carry this experience and these achievements to the Gender Ministry to support your minister and skew them also in that direction so that those more vulnerable groups can also benefit from this experience. I wish you well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more of the Women's Caucus wanting to ask her questions? I see. Very well. Yes.
Chairman, the
available leader.
caretaker minister is here.
She doesn't want to. She's not entitled to ask a question.
Really?
I'll acknowledge her after.
This Kokofu kind of business, Kokofu is in your constituency. And
Yes, available leader. Oh, you did not show me your hand, so very well, you may ask your question.
No. Congratulations, Francisca.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So on behalf of all the women caucus in Parliament, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You represent young women who have been given opportunity to serve in high place. I hope you will take this opportunity and shine so that going forward, younger people, more young women will be given the opportunity to serve. We all know that women have been left behind. This is the time for us to move forward. When any woman gets the opportunity, that woman should justify and show us, the rest of the world, that women are the best. And when we are given the opportunity, we will always do the best and shine. We wish you all the best. We'll be looking out for you, and we know that you make all of us proud. Congratulations once again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Available leader, you may proceed.
Congratulations, Honorable Francisca.
Thank you,
I
Mr.
believe
Chairman.
you've been asked all the questions except one that I want to draw your attention to. Every parliament, we vet nominees to the Ministry of Gender, and each time we get promised that the issue of witches' camps will be tackled head-on. What are your own thoughts about how we can deal with this problem frontally?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. On the issue of witch camps, it's quite unfortunate that I don't know where that description is coming from, that somebody who do not have a spiritual eye could tell that somebody is a witch or not. On the issue of the witch camp...
Are you saying that some people with spiritual eyes can certify that some others are witches?
Chairman, even if they have, I think it's based on your capacity. I believe spiritually we have levels, so it's not...
Honorable Deputy Minister nominee, do you have any spiritual eye yourself?
Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, I don't.
So where did you learn about spiritual levels and so on?
Mr. Chairman, it's a myth, and it's speculations that are being said when you go to these areas. I think it has...
You studied some law, right? You studied law there. You know that the laws of Ghana does not recognize metaphysics. We only deal with what can be verified. So we don't encourage any spiritual or eye or anything if you can prove that the person is a witch in the court of law and he has committed anything physically, the law will deal with the person. Other than that, anything you do is up to you. And, the crime in it, you take responsibility. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With regards to my view on this, I think abolishing it totally will be a hasty decision, because most of the women who are there see the place as a safe haven. Some people rush to the place because of some threats they had in their lives, and only a few of them have their family members taking them there. I think one thing that we can look at is to engage corporate Ghana and some individuals who will be willing to assist and support the women who are there, and also as a ministry take steps in engaging individuals' family, because the most important thing is, if we want to even do the integration, we need to engage the families to accept them. If the families do not accept them, it becomes difficult. So that is where sensitization also has to be done, to educate people on, especially in those environments, on some of these activities that is going on with regards to the witch camps. Yes.
I mean, this is a very serious problem. There are those who have been labeled as witches already, and they are seeking refuge, as you put it, in the camps. There are those who, by your own description, have a spiritual level that qualifies them to determine that others are witches. If you break this problem into two segments, the role of those who certify that others are witches, and the security and safety of people who have been identified and determined by their peers as witches, you don't think that the state of Ghana has the capacity to prevent those involved in the certification from doing so using our law enforcement agencies? And you don't also think that even if their immediate environment will not accept them, that as a country we have the resources to relocate these people to places where they will be safe and will not be subjected to the abuses that we see them being subjected in these camps? If you break this problem into these two simple segments, don't you think we can easily solve this problem? Instead of all of us believing that, it is a cultural thing and etc. I mean, there are so many cultural things that we fought over the years, and we have succeeded in, reducing the practice or even eliminating them.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I totally agree with you, and I think we would have to, in collaboration with the minister, maybe engage you more so that we can have extensive discussion on this issue. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So in 2 years' time, if you are, let's say, a member of the appointments committee and you are vetting an NDC nominee to the ministry, will you be able to tell that NDC nominee your experience in resolving these issues, approaching it from these two perspectives that I pointed out?
Honorable, if you are a member of the appointments committee, your experience will not be necessary. So you can ask the question another way, please.
Well, I mean, just a commitment from you that during your tenure as a deputy minister, you will make the issue of fighting for the abolition of witches' camps and ensuring that in those communities, the law enforcement agencies are up and doing in protecting women. Just an assurance from you that you will practically, take steps to deal with these issues and report back to us as a house.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I give the assurance, and I'm sure I'll be guided by the minister on this issue. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Chairman. I wish you all the best. We're all there if you need us, our guidance and advice in fighting this particular matter. As a human rights issue, I'll be available to provide assistance. Thanks.
Very well. We are coming to a very quick close. Just an observation. A few days ago, I was having a discussion with my sisters, and we're recounting the things that were the basis for accusing elderly women as witches. Today, they've been found all to be due to menopause. Is that right? Probably, if people understood these things well, and those signs that people observe, the pain elderly women go through, and the menopausal symptoms which people can't read and understand, for which reason they accuse elderly women of being witches. Probably, if we've spent more time explaining to people who have less information, probably it will help reduce these incidences of accusing. It's strange that most of the accusations are against women and not men. It's very strange. So probably men should join and be in the forefront of protecting elderly women. But I think sharing a lot of information on the signs of menopause would assist them. Do you know that there's only one old people's home in Ghana?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Do you know where it is?
Mr. Chairman, I know it's within your constituency.
It is at Bekwai. Constituency is wide, 116 towns and villages, but Bekwai specifically. Were you a member of the Committee on Gender before being nominated?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Did your committee ever visit the old people's home?
Mr. Chairman, not yet.
The whole of last parliament you didn't visit. In this parliament you haven't visited the old people's home. I wish the caretaker minister was on the seat, so I'll ask her how come. There's only one, the whole country, one old people's home. The inhabitants are less than 50. My view is that it is such a bad statement on us as a country if you see the state of the only old people's home. The only one, the whole country. Yes, it's a social welfare project, and if you see the state in which that property is, and to know that indeed they live on the generosity of donors, because they practically have no budget allocation, is a bad statement on us as a people. And I'm encouraging you. I've spoken to your minister. I'm also asking you that probably your third visit, when you're approved, is to pay a visit to the only old people's home to remind ourselves that we could end up there one day. We should make a good effort to rehabilitate and make, because as of now, it's a major financial drain for the MP. Yes. It's a major financial drain on the MP. Consistently have to provide money for them to be fed, money for them. Otherwise, when they get angry, they leave them into the town. And the old people are all about, So I'm encouraging you to pay keen attention to the only one old people's home we have in Ghana. I recognize the former Attorney General, but I'm not going to give you any opportunity to say anything. Just recognizing that I also succeeded you as a Deputy Speaker, and you're my senior. the only senior at the bar I have here now. All right. So on that note, we thank you for attending upon the house to answer questions. You're discharged. I see Nananum, but unfortunately, I'm not sure I can. Nanama Pontine. All right. Who are the other ones? I wish I could identify each one of you and to mention you by name, but unfortunately, where I'm sitting, I can't see very clearly. So Nananum, please forgive me, but we thank you all for coming to support the nominee. I see Mr. Kwaku Oteng, he came round to greet us, so I recognize him. And all the other family members. Did your husband come? I don't know him, so.
Yes.
Husband, get up, let's see you. Are you Akunta? Okay, good. You're welcome. We thank you for coming to us, support the nominee. We thank you all. You will hear from us, but for now, you're discharged.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.